Hey guys, this is Vlad with another character spotlight. Today I'm going to do another great new character from the new banner, Super Saiyan Kid Goten. He's someone that I've been using over and over. He's been a team staple for me and I've had a ton of fun using him, so I am excited to talk about him today. So I'm going to be going over his stats, his kit, and then go into some analysis and recommendations on the best way to use him. First, let's start with his stats. Now I'll be showing his 7-star max soul boosted stats. First off, we see his HP is very high. It's at one of the top 10 HPs in the game with a maximum of 620,000. He also has extremely high strike attack, with the third highest in the game before all his unique buffs and the rest of his kit helping it out, maxing out over 65,000. His blast attack is okay. It's not great, not terrible. His strike defense is pretty good, the 14th highest in the game, but his blast defense is pretty poor. He does have an extremely high key restore speed though, so with really high strike and really high key restore speed, it makes him into a very good character once you see how the rest of his kit comes together. Next, let's look at his Z abilities. So like his best friend Kid Trunks, he has a Z ability that changes over star level. So from 0 to 4 stars, he just has Hybrid Saiyan base strike attack, but from 5 to 7 stars, he keeps that Z ability as a second one, adding Hybrid Saiyan strike defense. Now, just Hybrid strike attack Z ability is great for him. It helps the rest of his hybrids tremendously since they're all basically strike based. But adding a second one for strike defense helps a lot since a lot of them aren't very tanky. So any bit of help on defense they can get is extremely helpful. And right now in the current meta, most of the top tier characters are strike based, so strike defense is much more valuable than blast defense. Now let's look at his unique abilities where he really starts to shine. So his first unique ability is a Team Trunks strike attack up. So if he has any Trunks on the team, whether it's one of the Sparking or Extreme Trunks, he gets a 40% boost to strike damage inflicted. Now that is tremendous. He already has one of the highest strike attacks in the game, so adding a 40% boost on top of that just makes him an absolute killing machine with strike cards. His second unique ability, Innate Power Strike Attack Up, is also fantastic. It adds 20% to strike damage after the first 30 timer counts in battle. And these stack, so if you have any of the Trunks on the team and it's 30 seconds into battle, then he's going to be an extra 60% on top of an amazing strike stat. So his uniques are just one of the best in the game. Now let's look at his main ability, Charge. It destroys all of your blast cards in your hand and then randomly draws one new one right away. And then it enhances the damage of the next card you use depending how many blast cards you deleted. So every blast card that you delete, you get a 50% boost on the next card, stacking up to 200% if you delete 4 blast cards. So this is useful just to get rid of blast cards because he's a strike type, but also the boost it adds can be devastating if you use it well. But you just want to make sure you don't miss on the next card that you use, otherwise the effect will go to waste. But later in the video I'll be doing some demonstrations and explanations on the best ways to use this main ability. Now his special attack is Kamehameha. It adds a 15% to strike damage inflicted for 15 counts, and it has a 20% chance to inflict faint on hit. I know I keep saying everything in his kit is great, but I swear it is, including this special attack. The 20% chance to inflict faint on hit is so powerful on him because his attack is so powerful. If you give him a chance to charge up to full key, use his main ability to make sure he has all strike cards and get a combo, it's pretty much a dead character unless they have some kind of cover. The combination of just the raw power and the chance to inflict faint can absolutely ruin a fight. It's to the point where when I get a special card, I try to save it until I can switch to Goten and use it against either a blue or neutral color character. So as long as they aren't purple, then I am trying to land this move. So now his special move is Unlock Key Rapid Strike Form. And once again, I know it keeps saying everything is great, everything's fantastic, but this is another amazing green card. It adds 10% to strike damage inflicted and -1 to his strike card cost for each hybrid on his team. So either of these effects on their own would make this card worthwhile and worth using. 10 to 30% strike damage inflicted on an already extremely high strike attack, or -1 to 3 costs on each strike card are both good, but used together is just amazing. You end up with extremely powerful strike cards costing only 13 to 16 ki. And with this high ki restore, it allows him to pull off some amazing combos and run through almost anyone in a single strike combo. It's especially useful with his main ability because not only do the effects stack, but it also guarantees that he's going to have strike cards to use his green card buff with. So when you put all these stats and kit together, what you get is one of the best damage dealers in the game, especially in the new hybrid meta. He pairs extremely well with the rest of the hybrids with his Z ability and double strike cards on top of just his ability to produce raw damage for the team. He pairs extremely well with Kid Trunks since the only way most characters can survive his combo is by swapping to a purple character to cover for them. And that just opens up his swap to his partner Kid Trunks, who will just devastate whatever purple they switch into. And that is on top of their unique buffs that they give each other, with Goten getting 40% strike buff and Trunks getting 40% blast buff. He also pairs well with the rest of the hybrids. His 2 strike cards and his ability to remove blast cards from the deck make him great for swapping to Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. He protects red Super Saiyan Trunks from blues, and he can also work well with Super Trunks since they both have high strike attack and 2 strike cards, and Super Trunks still activates his unique ability. If the enemy doesn't have a purple and you bring both of these pairs, then your combos are just going to run through their team like tissue paper. However, going back to his stats, he doesn't have a lot of defense. Although his HP is high, you really don't want it taking a lot of hits. So I think the best way to use him is to swap him in mid combo when you have a bunch of strike cards to guarantee that he's going to land his strike combo, and then swap him out as soon as it ends so that way they don't get a chance to hit him back and you can maintain that offensive threat on swap. This tactic is perfect with the first of the 2 ways I'm going to show you how to use his main ability well. So I'll switch to a video that shows you what I like to do when I get multiple blast cards with him. So I use his main ability to get rid of all the blast cards and charge up his next card. Then I switch to the next character, preferably a strike type since I just got rid of all my blast cards, and then fight with the other character until I get a special attack card, or have a strike card against a blue enemy. Then I start the combo with the other character, swap to Goten, and then let it rip. If done well, it guarantees that his main ability isn't going to go to waste and it gets close to one-shotting characters. And that's not even considering the fact that it has a chance to feint. The absolute perfect thing is if you hit them and they survive with low HP and feint, and you can recharge your ki before finishing them. The next trick I like to do to make sure that his main ability doesn't go to waste is to use a Rising Rush bait. So this is not 100% guaranteed. There is ways that they can go to avoid it. It is extremely difficult for them, and I do attempt it all the time if it's late in the fight and I absolutely need a kill. So when you have the main ability charged up and ideally also have a green card, you just hit Rising Rush, and as you're flying at them, you hit Strike card. The Rising Rush lands, cool, you get to Rising Rush them. If it doesn't, and they end up vanishing it, they also can't vanish the following up strike card, and your character automatically goes immediately into it. And with Goten, if he has a fully charged strike card, that's almost a death sentence as long as they can't swap. So the reason I showed this video is I tried this attack against the highest defensive neutral type in the game to see if I can kill him all in one go if he dodges my Rising Rush. And it looks like it was actually successful. I did drop combo at one point, but I still would have killed him if I didn't. That was just a mistake by me. It doesn't disprove the fact that as long as you have a full deck of strike cards and they dodge a Rising Rush, you will kill them. He's actually capable of even more than I show in this little clip, because I only used one blast card with his main ability and only had one green card active, he actually has the potential for a lot more. But it's not like you really need it, because most of the time when you're late into the fight and get your second Rising Rush, you aren't trying to kill a full HP Android 16 from full health. Now I'll get into some recommendations for equipment. And I promise, unlike last video, I didn't get the equipment mixed up this time. The most important buff when picking equipment for any character is also especially true for Kid Goten, and that's base key restore speed. It not only extends out your combos to make sure that you do a maximum amount of damage, but also make sure your combos are long enough to always get your vanish back so you're not in danger right after hitting them. Because of that, the best equipment for him is I'm Getting Excited, because it has an extremely high base key restore speed buff in the 3rd slot. But the other 2 buffs are also useful. His strike defense helps out with his kind of weaker defenses, and blast attack helps with his lower stat. The next 2 equipments can both be used as the 2nd slot. Neither one is very greater than the other. The one I prefer is Angry Super Saiyan, because it also has a key restore buff and strike attack buff, which are his 2 most important stats for his game of doing long strike combos. Now, it has a base strike defense buff, which, like I said with the previous equipment, is useful to make sure that he doesn't die as quick as he would without equipment. If you're not too concerned with his defense, then another good option is Leave My Dad Alone, because it has 2 of the same buffs, which are the important ones, strike attack and key restore speed, but it also buffs blast attack. I think the blast attack, while it does help his weaker stat, isn't as valuable as the strike defense, just because most of the time I don't swap him in when I have blast cards, and if I do get stuck with him and a bunch of blast cards, I can use his main ability to get rid of him. However, it still has the best 2 buffs for him, strike attack and key restore speed, so it is absolutely a viable option. As far as teams go, the best team for him is a pure hybrid team, just because his buff is so useful for his teammates, and there are now a ton of other Z abilities that would help him. So there are 2 good hybrid teams that I kind of alternate between. The top one is the best team for making Goten perform the best, because it has 3 strike Z abilities that apply to him from Super Saiyan 2 Gohan, his own, and then Super Trunks. However, the bottom team swaps Super Trunks for EX Goten to make sure that the team has a full color wheel and can counterpick anyone. Both teams are great, it just determines whether you value an extra strike buff on all your characters or the ability to counter red characters like Cell. Not to go too far on a tangent, but I just want to add EX Goten is an absolute monster. He also works well with Sparking Goten, and with his unique abilities, he is just as good as a Sparking, and I have absolutely no problem putting up against neutral Sparking characters like Android 17 or Super Vegeta. So that's going to be it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed it, please subscribe and leave me a like. If you have any questions or concerns, you can comment in the comments below or hit me up on Discord or Twitter. Both links will be in the description. And please let me know if there's a character that you guys want next. Goten was the most requested. I was planning on doing him anyway, so I'm happy that I could respond to your guys' requests. I'm thinking either the next one's either going to be EX Goten or Android 16. Either one would be good to use because I use them both, so I'll have a lot of footage for you guys. But let me know what you guys think. Thanks for coming out.